everyone, Morgan here. So today I wanted to talk about some preps and things that we can either continue doing or think about kind of starting up kind of soon, with more lockdowns coming and the rest of 2020 looking a little probably crazier than the first half of 2020, right? With elections coming up and more lockdowns and just more restrictions and the protests and just all these things that are going on right now. There's so many things that we could be doing. So I wanted to have this little quick list of a few things that we can do for the rest of 2020 and even beyond. These should be skills that you take with you far beyond 2020 as preppers, survivalists, outdoors people, whatever the case may be, right? So outside of the obvious, continue to store food and water. So whenever you go to the grocery store, just continue to get those extra cans of food, the extra rice. In my stores, personally, I have seen plenty of everything on the shelves. I have seen little bits of things starting to go out of stock a little bit, but I haven't really seen it. I haven't really seen too much panic buying quite yet, at least in my area. If you're in an area that has a lot of panic buying, definitely, still look out for that stuff and look online for stuff that you can't find to start getting some of that extra stuff now. Like if you can't find powdered milk or something, try to go online and get some powdered milk, even if it's powdered goat milk, right? Get what you can get. Okay. So the next one's going to be growing things. Now, a lot of people have started a garden, and a lot of people, maybe you won't be able to start a garden outside, but what you could do is you could start microgreens inside. Or there's lots of little indoor herb gardens. There's lots of indoor gardens in general that comes with their own lighting. All you do is just plug it in and it'll grow little greens on just right inside on your counter. I'll put links down below to where you can go find this stuff, but also sprouting. Sprouting is a great, easy, nutritional way to do this. I've shown in a past video that you can sprout any seeds, beans, lentils. What I'm saying is any seeds you can sprout, basically. They may not have like a high percentage, but it just kind of depends on what the seeds you get. I've had a huge high percentage of sprouting just from getting, regular black beans, just off the shelf from Walmart. They've all sprouted as far as I can tell. Besides like maybe like one or two or three, So the next one's going to be wild edibles. I really highly encourage you to look at the wild edibles in your area and, get a book. Look at the wild edibles and go out and actually forage for food. You would be amazed at the amount of things that are edible in your area. There's even some winter foraging going on. And I'm talking about not just plants, but also animals, any type of wild edible. If you want to just forage for the plants, great. If you also want to forage for some small game, great. You want to go out and fish, great. Use your resources wisely for those wild edibles and learn the wild edibles, learn how to cook them, prepare them, and you will be a much better off prepper person. The more self-sustaining that you can be, the better, right? The next one is going to be getting a rainwater collection system going. I think that it's so easy for people to get a rainwater collection system going. I'm going to put a link down below in the description that shows you a really easy way to get a trash can rain barrel collection set up. I had this set up for years and it was wonderful. And that's easy access for lots of water for your garden, your animals, whatever the case may be. I want you to start creating a recipe book. And I'm not just talking about food recipes, but I'm talking about recipes for DIY projects. Even if you've never done these DIY projects before, especially if you've never done these DIY projects before, if you are finding yourself looking something up, either screenshot it or physically copy and paste into a document and then start making recipes, DIY recipes. Beauty recipes, making your own stuff and food recipes, but definitely all the different type of recipes, instructions, everything. I've done a video on this before. I'm going to put a link down below so you can go check that out because I'm pretty sure there's a free downloadable still available to you where I got a whole bunch of recipes started for you guys. All right, the next one's going to be preservation. I highly encourage that if you have not started canning or dehydrating yet, or even freezing is acceptable, okay? We have our our freezer still going on our solar, I would highly recommend that you get into more preservation, fermenting, whatever the case may be. Get into more preservation. Go buy some fruit that's on sale, vegetables on sale, whatever, and start preserving your own stuff. Maybe take that up a notch a little bit. The next one is going to be looking into more alternative energies. Trying to get off the grid a little bit, but even if it's, like hurricane season is really ramping up right now at the time of making this video, so having some alternative energies, generators, solar, wind, whatever the case may be, hydro, if you have access to like a river nearby or something, there's lots of alternative energy options. And I really highly suggest that you start looking really seriously into these things. Okay, the next one's going to be start to save money. Even if you can save just a little bit, start to save some cash. If you can invest in coins, silver, if you can invest in gold, that's great. But if you can invest in silver, that's great too. Silver is a great gateway. It's nice. It's fairly, affordable for most people. But in general, I think most of us can save, our coins, just our regular coins, and then just cash, any type of cash, $1 here, $5 here, whatever the case may be. Start just putting away a little bit of money here and there, and it will really add up over time. But it's very important that we, try to save money for emergencies, disasters, whatever the case may be. Your heater goes out, right? You may need some extra cash. You don't want to pay that on a credit card, right? It'd be better to pay it cash instead of on a credit card, right? So, saving that money isn't just for the end of the world. It's for those everyday emergencies that come up, right? And so start saving that, especially for people who have been without a job. And that brings me into my next idea. I would really highly suggest that people start looking more into side hustles of, delivering groceries, or, that's still a really big thing. If you can deliver groceries, that's still very highly sought after. And not just delivering groceries, but delivering food in general. People are still ordering out and having food delivered. There's lots of opportunities right now and lots of ways for you to get creative to still bring in a little bit of extra money for yourself, and try to save maybe that little bit of extra money that's coming in, or maybe that's your full-time money that's coming in, especially with people that are still out of a job. Jobs are still very hard to find, especially with more lockdowns or continued lockdowns. All right, the next one's going to be find local sources. And what I mean by this is find local sources for your honey, find local sources for your meat, find local sources for your vegetables. I promise you, no matter where you live, there's some sort of local source somewhere. Okay, go to the farmer's market. This is really the best way to do it. You go to the farmer's market and you say, hey, are you a local, farmer? Even local, and an hour away, whatever, that's still more local than, across the country, right? So, are you a local supplier? Would I be able to buy from you directly? Can I get your card? That kind of thing, right? Start creating those connections with your local farmers and the local sources around you. All right, the next one is going to be continue to gain information, knowledge, everything from a variety of sources. I've talked about this before, but it is so, so, so important for us to be able to see things before they come, and for us to be able to be prepared for this. The people that saw this pandemic coming before, it was officially announced as a pandemic, were prepped long before, any of the panic buying and anything happened, any of the lockdowns, anything like that. So it's really, really important for us to see these things coming before they get here, especially with hurricane season, natural disasters still happening. It's not just all about the pandemic, but natural disasters are still happening. And if we can see these things, approaching, and we have plans that we can, start putting into place, then we won't be caught off guard, and we'll be prepared. And so, we won't be, rushing to the grocery store. We won't be, trying to exit the city at the last moment, because we've seen these things happen, long before. Or, we won't be hunkering down at the last minute, whatever the case may be. We won't be trying to get our animals to safety at the last minute, because we'll have seen these things coming. You know what I mean? All right. And the last one is going to be upping your security and your defense. I've talked about this a lot in several videos, but I think it's so important that we really try to focus on upping our security and defense. Do DIY security, whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter. Get some motion sensor lights, which ours are working quite well still, by the way. Get some more security cameras. Get some more home defense items, get more little door alarms, whatever you can get to up your security and your personal defense. I would highly encourage you to, learn about any type of self-defense options at your disposal that you're comfortable with. Get into classes. There are lots of classes being offered right now on self-defense. I'm going to put a couple links down below of a couple people that I highly recommend. They're offering a bunch of training, self-defense training online. So I'm also offering some self-defense and other type of training, preparedness training online. So definitely stick with me, right? But there's a bunch of other people that I recommend as well. But yeah, get into that self-defense and get training and up that security. Not just for your home, but for yourself and your family whenever you do happen to go out, okay? So really focus on that. I think times are getting crazy and a little bit crazier, and so we just want to be the most prepared as possible and not be caught off guard, right? Thank you all so much for watching. If you have anything else that you'd like to add to this list, also, one last little tidbit. I hear that aliens are coming in September, so we definitely want to get our tinfoil hats and like our laser guns going and stuff like that. So, definitely prepare for them as well. 2020 has been crazy. I don't really see it slowing down anytime soon. So, for 2020 and beyond, let's try to be as best prepared as we possibly can be. Thank you all so much for watching. Conquer tomorrow by preparing today. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.